This hormone is on fire. You can't feel it, you can't see it, but it's quietly burning every system in your body. Your brain, your gut, your skin, your heart. By the end of this video, you'll know 7 hidden triggers spiking it every single day. The number 1 trigger will surprise you. Stay until the end. Welcome back to Inflammation Nation. Today we're talking cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, the chemical your adrenal glands pump out to help you survive threats. The problem isn't cortisol itself. Cortisol is supposed to surge briefly and then fall. The problem is that modern life is fooling your body into pumping it out constantly. And chronic cortisol elevation drives inflammation in nearly every system you have. Your gut, your brain, your skin, your hormones, your immune system. Here are 7 hidden triggers you're probably doing right now without knowing it. Trigger 7, the morning phone scroll. Within 30 seconds of waking, most adults reach for their phone. The screen floods their visual cortex with bright light, news, social media, and emails before their eyes have even fully focused. Your cortisol naturally peaks in the morning to wake you up. Adding immediate digital stress on top of that natural spike sends levels into overdrive. A 2024 study from the University of Texas found that morning phone use within the first 30 minutes after waking was associated with elevated cortisol levels throughout the entire day. That morning scroll isn't a habit. It's a hormonal accelerant. The first hour of your day sets your cortisol baseline for the next 24. The fix is simple. Phones come out after sunlight, not before. Even 30 minutes of phone-free morning resets the curve. Trigger 6, broken sleep at 3 a.m. If you find yourself waking between 2 and 4 in the morning and lying awake unable to fall back asleep, that's cortisol surging at exactly the wrong time. Healthy cortisol is supposed to dip at night, bottom out around 2 a.m., then climb back up to wake you at sunrise. When cortisol spikes prematurely in the middle of the night, it means your nervous system is misreading low blood sugar, late-night digestion, or unresolved stress as a threat. Chronic 3 a.m. wake-ups are an early warning system for cortisol dysregulation, and cortisol dysregulation is one of the strongest predictors of systemic inflammation in adults. Track your wake-ups for 2 weeks. The pattern will tell you something your blood work isn't. Trigger 5. Coffee on an empty stomach. The morning ritual most people swear by is one of the worst things you can do to your cortisol. Caffeine triggers a sharp cortisol release on its own. Combine caffeine with an empty stomach and low blood sugar, and your body interprets the whole package as a 5-alarm fire. Your cortisol stays elevated for hours longer than it would with food. A 2018 study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology showed that caffeine consumed on an empty stomach produced a cortisol response 40% higher than the same dose taken with food. If you love your coffee, eat first. Plant protein, fiber, real food, then sip. Your inflammation markers will start dropping within weeks. Trigger 4. Chronic undereating. The wellness industry has spent a decade selling you on fasting. The science is more complicated than the influencers admit. While brief fasting can be helpful in specific protocols, chronic undereating, especially in women over 35, is a direct cortisol trigger. Your body interprets low calorie availability as famine. The stress response activates, cortisol rises, inflammation follows. If you regularly skip breakfast, train fasted, then undereat through lunch, you're stuck in a low-grade cortisol storm all day. The body that's properly fed runs cool. The body that's chronically deprived runs hot, even if the scale is moving down. Eat in the first hour after waking. Protein-based. Watch what changes. Trigger 3. Doomscrolling. The endless feed of bad news, outrage, and crisis content engineered to keep you swiping. Every alarming headline triggers a small cortisol pulse. Your brain can't distinguish between a tiger in the room and a tragedy on a screen. Both register as threat. The constant stream of low-grade alarm keeps your stress response chronically activated. A landmark 2023 study tracked cortisol in heavy social media users, and found a 30% average elevation in stress hormone markers compared to controls. The news isn't designed to inform you anymore, it's designed to retain you, and the retention metric is keeping your inflammation high. Set a time limit. Stick to it. Track your sleep and skin for 30 days. The change will be obvious. Trigger 2. Chronic work stress. The deadline pressure that never quite ends. The email that pings at 9 p.m. The manager who is technically civil, but always disappointed. This kind of stress is more damaging to your cortisol than a single major life event. Major events cause acute cortisol spikes that resolve in days or weeks. Chronic low-grade work pressure sustains elevated cortisol for months and years. Researchers at Stanford have linked sustained work stress directly to increased levels of C-reactive protein, the most common clinical marker of systemic inflammation. The body doesn't care that your stress is metaphorical. It treats every Monday morning meeting like a physical threat. The solution isn't a vacation. A vacation is a reset that lasts a week. The solution is daily intervention. 5 minutes of breathing in the morning, a walk after lunch, a boundary on email after 6. The small things compound. And now, trigger number 1. The one nobody warned you about. Alcohol. Even one drink. The cultural lie is that alcohol relaxes you. Pharmacologically, the opposite is true. Alcohol depresses the central nervous system temporarily, but your body responds by ramping cortisol output to compensate. The result is what's been called the alcohol rebound. Cortisol spikes during digestion, peaks around 3 a.m., and disrupts sleep architecture for the rest of the night. A 2021 meta-analysis published in Alcohol and Alcoholism found that even moderate drinking, 2 glasses of wine or 2 beers, raised next morning cortisol levels by an average of 27%. The relaxation you feel for an hour comes with a cortisol bill that runs all night. Inflammation rises, sleep quality drops. The next morning, the cycle starts again with the same cortisol-spiking coffee on an empty stomach. The math doesn't work. The body keeps the score. That's 7 hidden cortisol triggers. The triggers you don't see are the ones doing the damage. Cortisol is invisible. The inflammation it produces shows up in your weight, your skin, your sleep, your mood, and eventually your medical chart. Pick one trigger from this list. Just one. Fix it this week. Comment below which one hit hardest. And subscribe so you don't miss next week's investigation. We're going after the supplement industry's biggest lie. Until then, stay curious, stay skeptical,